feed, and lead. Wow, fantastic, brilliant. So we've got one more session before we go to coffee, and that's going to be, so first and foremost, thank you, Michelle. What a great session. So, big up, Michelle. Fantastic. So now we're going to move on to, so we talked about networks and how do we access and remind ourselves about who those networks are. But for most businesses, one of the things that we took from one of the earlier sessions was about how do we market ourselves. Now, part of marketing is public relations. And people, there's a misnomer or a misunderstanding of what is public relations. Does anybody know what public relations is? One person. Two. So Nicola, you've got a job to do. So public relations, how do people perceive you and your brand and your business? We use public relations. We think it's an important part of telling your own story, your own narratives. But it also can be really helpful for your business. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Nicola Milington, who's a PR guru from FP Comms. Nicola.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, most of you put together the social media post, whether it's 5 minutes or an hour, depending on the elaborateness of the post. But what you don't understand also is that you don't own those platforms. So when they come down, all your messaging, all your connections are gone. But also, you're also leaving money on the table because there's another cash-free way to promote your business. Absolutely, and all of you can do it. So by show of hands, who's written a letter? Who's written an email? Who's done that? Show of hands. So you can all write. And writing a press release is about telling your story and finding the right journalists to do that. So literally, after Michelle's homework, the next one is to find the right journalist to tell your story for you. So I'm going to give you a little bit of example of how important this is. So this publication, Woman and Home, put your head up, Marva, featured menopause, shush menopause wellness. This was written by a press release, that was sent out by a press release to a journalist. They picked up the story and wrote it. Didn't cost anything other than finding the right journalist. So I've put some, you can just share it around and just see the article. The reason this is important for you to begin with the story to leverage it is because you begin the journey of controlling your own narrative in the PR space. Now, this is not PR in its entirety in regards to public relations, but this is getting your mindset right in regards to how you start to tell your story out there in the world and attracting your customers to you. Because when you find the correct journalist to tell your story, they bring your audience to you. Whereas when you're posting your social media, beautiful as they may be, you're speaking to your own ecosystem. You're looking for the 15 likes from your friends and hoping 2 of them will reshare it. Whereas in reality, if you spend some time to connect with the right journalist for your business, they will be speaking to, let's even say from a local point of view, most boroughs have over 20, 30,000 people in a local area that read the local press, you're speaking to that audience. Let's speak from a national point of view. Thousands, hundreds of thousands. And let's speak from a global point of view, millions. Right? So I'm going to set you all the second piece of homework. So you've got Michelle's homework. Now you've got my homework. So I want you to split your search for the right journalists into 4 categories, 3 each, right? The first one will be local press. Why are we choosing local press? Because if, as your hands didn't go up, you haven't got experience with connecting with journalists and PR, local is the safest and most comfortable way to reach out to your audience. Local journalists are always looking for good news stories. They will go out and send the reporters about all the negative stuff, but when they're looking for stories to communicate, they're looking for good news stories. So far, none of you have to pay a penny for anything. This is cash-free promotion, okay? So 3 journalists in your local area, and I'll tell you how you can find those. The second one is national press. These will be your Guardians, these will be your Telegraph, these will be your Independents. Find the journalist that resonates with your sector, your story at the time, whether it's you've come up to an anniversary in your business, per se, whether you have launched a new product. Find those journalists that are willing to tell those stories. The third one is your sector-specific press. These are people within your industry. So you're communicating to your ecosystem, but these are also the people that will buy. These are the people that will buy your services. These are people that will be procuring within your industry, whether it's legal, HR, products and services. This is your sector-specific press. This also is a space where you generate your authority of voice within your sector. This is a space when you're in year 3 and 4 in your business, where those people that give you the awards start to read that press, your sector-specific press. And the fourth and final one, which everyone delves into straight away, but you're not really ready for, is global press. Global press. So the first thing that anybody that comes to me with fashion brands say is, I want to get in Vogue. I'm like, do you know what it means to get into Vogue? Do you really know what it means to get in Vogue? So work your way through it gradually and learn how to use your voice. So very quickly, how do you find those journalists within each of those areas? The first thing is very easily Twitter. Most journalists will have their handle and their email address and their contact details in the body of their Twitter account, whether they are in-house journalists for the publication or whether they're freelancing. You literally just reach out to them with a nice introductory, hi, my name is, I really like your style of writing. Don't pitch to them, you start building that relationship. You like, you follow, you share. You like, you follow, you share. For each of those journalists, by the time you're ready to pitch your story to them, because they have seen that you are really investing into them, they're likely to start to have the conversation with you. Okay? So don't go in there going, this is my story. Start with very gently building that relationship with them. That's the first one. There's also a platform called Rocket Reach. Rocket Reach. With Rocket Reach, you get for 3 free search, if you want, every single month, I think it is, or maybe a week, I can't remember. So you can find the journalists within there as well. The third one is LinkedIn. Journalists are constantly posting and sharing information on LinkedIn. And it's a really friendly now. It's really become that friendly space. Sorry, Shania, how long? 5? Really friendly space to communicate and connect with journalists. Okay? The fourth and final one is basically just reading the publications and looking under the headline or at the bottom of the article, you see what's known as their byline, which is basically their credit for them writing that article. Google them, and you'll find where they're connected the most. Okay, so we're at the Black Business Entrepreneurs Conference Masterclass, okay? And I wanted to share a little story that happened yesterday. There's an exhibition going on at the British Library called Black Baseline. And I went to the preview of that exhibition. And what I noted was the number of publications, Black-owned publications, that no longer exist. But without those publications, a lot of the musicians we see today would also not exist. So I want to do a call to action. We know The Voice, right? We know The Voice newspaper? Yes. All right, cool. There's 2 other publications I want to encourage everyone in this room to subscribe to. The first one is Black Business Magazine. It's run by True and Justice in Birmingham. They are out there again creating a lifestyle publication which talks about Black businesses. The second one is Pitch Black Magazine, run by Colin and Judy Tomlin, again, speaking about Black businesses. Now, why? And of course, The Voice, and there's Black Ballads as well. So why is this important, and why am I making this an urgent call to action? And this is why. If those publications at the time did not exist, like with Caribbean Times, like with New Nation, many of us would not be in this room today. 100% not be in this room today. Because those stories have to be told in a positive and fair light. Okay? Objectively, but they have to be told. There are journalists within all of the magazine section, the publication sections I mentioned earlier on, national, global, local, sector specific, but you still need our own publications to help us move those narratives forward. The second thing is also with Black businesses, and something that I'm really pushing, is ensuring that we stop that trauma commentary about our lifestyle. Not everything is about the hardship story. It can be positive. So I'm going to wrap up that now. My aim, and my only aim, is to shift the mindset of all of you in the room to know that social media is not the only cash-free way to promote your business. Use press and media to also tell your story. I hope that helps.
So, thank you so far. So I know that it's 11 o'clock and now time for a refresher, right? So well done, Nicola, and PR, the importance of PR, because often, as you said, the stories, you can tell your own story, one, which is great, but also you've got customers out there who may want to read your story. Now, Marva is a great story. She's been on GMTV, was it GMTV? Through PR. She's been in Women's Own magazine. Now, what does that do? In marketing terms, we talk about push and pull strategies. So what happens now, the fact that her story's out there, what do you think consumers are doing? They're reading it. And they're going, oh, I recognize some of these symptoms of menopause. Maybe I should go and buy that product. And all of a sudden, she's now got a new customer. But because it's on a national stage, There are thousands of potential new customers through PR. But if you don't take the actions, things don't happen, all right? So before we just summarize, just remember the 7 Ps. Proper planning and preparation prevents poor performance. Proper planning and preparation prevents poor performance. So go out there, plan, prepare, and deliver your performance. Now we're going to take a coffee break, and then we come back exciting. We've got Heinz, and we've then got NatWest talking to us about funding. So please, outside there's some coffee to be served, and teas, of course. Thank you.